Yeah. All right. So this week I'm going to be covering the art history of the nude. And to begin, I wanted to clarify that the nude is usually a model without a scene in an art, a fine art, classical art kind of viewpoint, who is modeling and has either robes or drapes or something or blankets, but no clothes around, not on the floor or nearby. That is actually a naked person. The naked person is a person with clothes on or half off or something like that, kind of trying to show that they once had clothes on, they should probably have clothes on, and they do not. And that's more of a realistic technical thing. And having a nude, it's more uh, uh, classical. It's the fine art version of a naked person. It's a more clean version of someone who is just not every day. So this all started, when Eve took the apple, and then they realized they were naked, so they had to put on their clothes and being naked, and all of that becomes a big sensitive issue in painting, especially in our modern day with FCC and Janet Jackson's boob. There are several different styles in painting, and some are, realistic, and they show their lumps and their, flaws or what have you. And some are very cleaned up, because they want to have a more romantic view or sexy view of a person. And or even there's the styles of the time, like cubism. Nude is painted for many reasons, like sexual, technical, or just to be beautiful. So you'll see the nude in many different lights. There's also the hope of fertility. So there are some, like a statue that was made in prehistoric times for as a fertility goddess. And then there's also like instructional stuff, like back in Renaissance times there were paintings of women playing with themselves that were kind of instructional to show that women should either be fondled or fondle themselves in order to increase the chances of conceiving. Boobs. Oh, and that's probably one of the main reasons why we're talking mainly about the female form and not the male form, because we have boobs and guys have their dealy whackers and they're just not as pretty to draw. But for male forms, you have the musculature that is studied quite a bit. Actually, if you look back in Renaissance times as well, you'll see a lot of like the Sistine Chapel and what have you. There are a lot of paintings of women that are actually men's bodies, because they didn't want the female form around. They wanted to look at the men, and some of them were excited about that. So you'll see a lot of like muscular women, and they're actually not. And the female form is and has been the passive object. That's why so many feminists are against this objectification. But with the whole idea of having a beautiful thing to look at, you want to look at it. You don't want it to look back at you. But in a lot of paintings, you'll see the model is looking directly back at the viewer, and that is usually a very flirtatious way of making the model into the active, non-passive um, uh, piece of art. And yeah, it gets kind of sexy. Naked people. Okay, here you see Adam and Eve, and they're taking an apple from a serpent that looks like a woman, but then they realize they're naked. Here's a fertility goddess, big boobs, as you can see, back in primitive times. And here's Botticelli goddess. Here's Manet's nude. You can see a lot of symbolism in the flowers, the cat, the woman over her. Um, Picasso, and they're running naked, as you can see. They've got their clothes, but they're falling away. And there's a lot of sculpture showing nudes, and a lot of them were fondled back in the day. And as you can see here, there's blankets, but she's nude. Here's one that's very provocative. She's looking away, so she's passive. She's spread eagle, so it's, sexy. Here's some more boobs. And this is more about family and religion, so it's kind of more technical. This is about the French Revolution, so there's a lot of passion behind it. This is the cubist style of a nude, descending stairs. Does it look hot? I didn't think so. And line drawing, very simple, but it shows everything. And here is Dolly's very mangled nude. You know, a lot of psychology behind it all. Here's a pleasant image where it's just drapes, not clothing. Good study of light and dark. This is very cleaned. This is very simple edges. This is regarding the gods. Look back in your classical literature if you'd like to know more. These are probably wood nymphs or what have you, but also very sexual. And the goddess of the ocean. A lot of good stories behind that. Here's Klimt. A lot of fuzzy boobs. Not very clear, but that's his style. And boobs with a child, so it's very nurturing. Here are the naked people. There are clothes nearby, so oh my god, they are not nude. Manet was a envelope pusher. And Modigliani, I believe, and nude completely. This is very mixed because there's some tones of bestiality. And Picasso. So it's like, are you looking at boobs or are you not? But you are. And blue phase, you know, it's an expressive tool of emotion. It's not just looking at boobs. And here you see Picasso's cubist version of a whorehouse. Quite lovely, catchy. Once again, this is statuesque and with drapes. And once again with drapes. And there's a lot of symbolism in here with the fan and the koi pose. And this was, I believe, more of a religious view. So it's very technical. And this is lively, once again, Picasso. I love it. Cubist. This is not. And this is just kind of showing you the nude. And she has clothing there. It's her hat. This is the neoclassical version of nudism with little cherubs, and it's all very romantic. And in this, it's more realistic. There's an expression of sadness both in the face and the color. And here you'll see a lot of symbolism in what she's doing, what she's holding on to, the people in the background. But the biggest deal is that she's looking directly at the viewer. She's engaging you and she's flirting. Boom. That's it. And when you look at the viewer like this, that means something. So I hope you learned something and I hope you enjoyed. Bye-bye.